Would you like to elaborate on the product journey? कैसे आपने product को develop किया?
One fine day, I wanted to buy an EV. I was going to buy a car. I was still thinking which car to buy. The only thing I saw was my car parked in a basement of my apartment, and I was thinking, how am I going to charge my EV if I get it? किसी इंटेलिजेंट बंदे ने ये निकाला BESS मार्केटिंग फंडा बैटरी तो शुरू से BESS था so we are in easy words in modern day कबाड़ but I'm happy to be that they are not just doing mechanical so there are a lot of other ways to extract minerals from so it's hydrometallurgy it's pyrometallurgy as well a couple of them are using that to extract a certain mineral so it just makes the whole process more efficient and they take it to the next level. We developed a product, a working, good design product that can charge an EV. It can go to your doorstep, it can meet you on the highway, it can come to your office, whatever you call it. We developed that, it worked, and that's when I thought, okay, I still don't want an EV, but I'm going to make a company out of it.
Hello friends, स्वागत है आपका साधन पॉडकास्ट में और हर बार की तरह हम लेकर के आए हैं एक ऐसे एक्सपर्ट को who really knows the matter. We are now focusing on a green tech revolution. So here comes Harry Bajaj, who is a serial entrepreneur into green technology. I would like to talk about investing into green technology, which is, I think, is the thing of future. And as an investor, we understand this sector clearly. We will dig down upon certain things like recycling, EV, battery chargings, and all those things which are cutting edge nowadays, which are a very good business opportunity for many budding entrepreneur as well. And he has been a serial entrepreneur. So let's hear from Mr. Bajaj. I welcome you in Sadhan podcast. Thank you for giving us your important time. We would like to ask you about your journey. What has been the motivation behind choosing green technology as a sector?
If you connect green tech or tech in general, with my personal journey from the past, I always have been related with technology, always wanted to fiddle around, test out new tech, test out new laptops when I was a kid. So, building up things here and there, breaking them, dismantling them, and then assembling again. So that's what I like to do in general. So even if it's green tech or just tech or marketing tech, all of those techs are of my interest. Being in green tech, we are trying to establish an ecosystem, whereas we create a circular economy within ourselves that would support the bigger economy to increase the recycling and the green energy sector together. In Mobec, that's our company, and we are innovative products company that has solutions to charge vehicles, EVs, supplies on demand and mobile solution. We have various solutions there, and we are also trying to create a circular ecosystem. We have a recycling, whereas we recycle various sort of non-acidic, lithium batteries, which are put back to the economy just to reproduce again.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And that really relates with my whole idea of dismantling and assembling.
Yeah. So we call it a reverse engineering.
That's what
exactly what you have been doing so far. I'd like to understand myself when you choose electrical vehicle ecosystem as our business venture. And I believe before that you already had a business which was tech but not green tech. So can you just elaborate on the switching from tech, which was advertisement technology, performance marketing technology, to green technology? What you learned from that experience, which might be helpful for your green tech ambition?
Again, marketing tech in green tech. So again, there is a tech which is common, and I had to do it. So that's one of the reasons. Second is obviously while my journey in marketing technology and performance marketing and developments, tech developments as well. During the course of that, a lot of has helped me and is helping me in my green tech venture, which is primarily related to how to do it, how to manage an idea, how to execute an idea, and how to integrate various other elements into new idea and make a business out of it. That's what has helped me doing new thing.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you were developing the product for green tech into charging solutions, which you kind of cracked it very intelligently, very short span of time. Would you like to elaborate on the product journey? कैसे आपने product को develop किया?
Yeah, it was funny. It's a short funny story. That way, one fine day, I wanted to buy an EV.
Okay.
And that was 2 years back. And I was very fascinated with, obviously, EV tech again.
Yeah.
And us being boys, we always want a fancy stuff, right?
Yeah, a toy to break down.
Why not? I would have broken it down for sure. But I was, as soon as I got out of my apartment, I was going to my car. I was still thinking which car to buy, probably after a few months or whenever I can. And the only thing I saw was my car parked in the basement of my apartment. And I was thinking, how am I going to charge my EV if I get? And you cannot really throw a wire down the balcony and charge your car. It's not feasible. It's not logical. There are a lot of residential places where they don't have high capacity DC chargers installed to charge your car, and specifically on your parking spot. Another challenge. I thought that I'm probably going to charge my car on a public station, but that's just not me. I cannot go and stand there for half an hour, 1 hour. So I dropped the idea to buy a car, and I hired a couple of smart brains from whom I had to learn. I had to learn mechanics. I had to learn electronics. I established a small team just to create a product for myself. Product that can charge my future car. That can really go to my parking spot and charge it. We started working on it. We learned from various regions, developed regions globally, where they have certain advancements in technology. There was a lot of R&D, a lot of learning coming in from the existing peer members that were collaboratively working with me on this. It happened that I expanded the team there. And in a couple of months, under a year precisely, we developed a product, a working, good design product that can charge an EV. It can go to your doorstep, it can meet you on the highway, it can come to your office, whatever you call it. We developed that, it worked, and that's when I thought, okay, I still don't want an EV, but I'm going to make a company out of it. So that's when we started off the real journey. But during this course, there was a lot of learning and a lot of support from existing work that I do in technology development. So a lot of tech integration is incorporated in this physical product. And again, new learning here. I know how to make a product as well. So yeah.
That's fascinating that how you faced a problem and tried to create a solution out of it. And that is the making of an entrepreneur. So since now we are focusing on Mobec, if you explain your business in...
So there are two sides of Mobec. One side is again customized products. We know how to make the smallest and biggest power bank, and it's movable. It has got wheels on it, so it can move. Smart, integrated with all sort of AI possible, because we know how to do technology as well. So we have products that can be implemented on various scenarios, on various atmospheres or terrains. We can make the product as small as possible, that can be mounted on a two-wheeler, a power bank, imagine, that can actually go and charge on two-wheeler. And we can make it as big as a container sized for a bigger implementation, bigger use, and it's all mobile solution. You can move it easily. So that's a USP. So that's on the product side innovation. Since we know how to do it, we can do it as you like it. So that's one part of it. And just to support that whole idea of green ecosystem, we started our recycling side of business as well. We are recycling all sort of lithium batteries. By recycling, we do have proper advanced technology and machinery that does end-to-end recycling of all the batteries types that are available and you can think of. And it gives out the product that actually can go back into the ecosystem from the manufacturers of batteries to end product users who are into probably lubes, oil lubes or ceramic industry. There are various implementations using the products that come out of a single battery.
Okay.
So products like cobalt, nickel, lithium, graphite, aluminium, copper, all of this have various implementation across. So we try to give it back to the whole ecosystem.
That's why the circularity.
Yes.
There is a good news for you. मैं मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम बैच 5 लेकर के आ रहा हूँ, जहाँ पे हम लोग 6 months में बिल्कुल ही एक्सपर्टीज डेवलप कर लेंगे एंड वी विल मास्टर मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग. सो अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्रेमवर्क डेवलप करने के लिए आप साधन मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम को चूज कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज मैंने ओवर लास्ट 10 years इसे डेवलप किया है एंड आई हैव बीन गिविंग दिस नॉलेज टू माय मेंटीज एंड दे हैव बीन वेरी सक्सेसफुल इन पिकिंग अप स्टॉक्स बाय देमसेल्फ. तरीका बिल्कुल ही सिंपल है. गो टू learn.amitabhvatsar.com. वहां पे आप सिर्फ एक ट्रायल लॉगिन क्रिएट करें. वहां पे मैंने अपना साधन का एक ROIC शिफ्ट मैकेनिज्म शेयर किया हुआ है, जो कि इंपॉर्टेंट टूल है ऑफ माय इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्रेमवर्क. एंड ज्वाइन अस and become independent in true sense.
So another question which is lingering into my mind कि battery पे ही आपका पूरा business model है, in the sense if one hard thing which is underlying in your business is battery.
Yeah.
So battery के बारे में I think you are the right person to ask this question कि how much percentage of an EV is battery?
In government का target है 20-30% of cars should be EVs. In India, giving you a broader idea about the target and the expected market, that will give you an idea about the internal logistics of what's happening in the country. India is in a race to reach $1 billion worth of category in recycling specifically. India falls on number 6.
Okay, that's of recycling capacity.
In terms of all of that, recycling and your EV battery manufacturing. Obviously, number 1 is China, followed by the European Union, given the area landmass. So there's density and obviously support on the various grants and innovations. Then followed by US. Then you have Japan and Korea, and then India, and followed by others. So if you talk about specifically India, we have a long way to go. There is a huge potential to reach out to. For example, China is 80% of the market leader in terms of recycling and the manufacturing. The overall growth by 2030 of global worldwide category of batteries and EV and recycling would require at least 1,500 megawatt hours of energy, out of which still China is expected on the current run trend, obviously, around to be dominating 70% of that market, whereas India would be reaching 1 billion in terms of market by 2030. So still a lot to learn from neighboring or Western or anybody else or whoever is doing better that way.
I was also curious about let's say if we are making an EV of let's say 10 amp, how much percentage of it would be into batteries?
Well, if you talk about battery, so I'll give you a rough estimate so that people who are seeing उनको थोड़ा idea पता लगे बैटरी आती कितनी. So batteries का तो पहली बात तो लॉजिक है, हम किलोवाट में उसको कैलकुलेट करते हैं कि उसकी कैपेसिटी कितनी है किलोवाटेज में. अब 1 kilowatt, if you're going as a business, as a manufacturer or a reseller or a assembler of battery, आपको इंडिया में बैटरी मिलेगा from third parties. It started off being at very peak when it was all new. At 2 years back, 3 years back, you would get a battery of 1 kilowatt around 30,000 rupees. Now with so many grants, so much of support and so many startups coming on innovation within just 2 years, इसी दौरान आपकी बैटरी की कॉस्ट 70% तक नीचे चली गई है और वो नीचे जाएगी. Now if you think about it, there were few car manufacturers 2-3 years back who had that good looking EV in the market, which is too expensive. मतलब लोग सोचते थे कि यार ये 50 लाख की EV में कैसे लूंगा. आज की डेट में वही 10-15 लाख की 20 लाख की आपको बहुत अच्छी दिखने वाली EV with all those screens in it and all that is possible because battery was a big component during production. Now it still is, but again the cost of car has also come down subsequently. So I would not be able to really comment on how much percentage of development cost goes to battery in a car, because that really depends on what else has been put in a car. Battery being one of the heaviest components there, but there's so much of tech, so many cameras which are expensive for a manufacturer as well, that are being put in just to make the car futuristic, smarter. So all that adds up to the cost. And then the safety part comes in, the kind of material you're using. So all of that is there. All I can say is the cost is getting down. Battery is being supported by the recyclers, by the government, by the manufacturers. and we all are trying to get it down so that all the other byproducts are also supported.
30,000 feet questions again, that when you compare electric vehicle as a competition to, let's say, hydrogen based vehicles, or let's say natural gas based ecosystem, which Mahanagar Gas Limited and Adani Total Gas, and all these guys are pushing for natural gas based ecosystem where the CNG kind of product would be there. So how EV would compete against CNG? And there is a third competition, which is hybrid. So where do you see the buck moving?
We are a lot of us. Well, we are in billions in the world, right? You put a new technology, you put a green technology that is helping all of us. I believe there is no competition as such. CNG got introduced in India a couple of years back. People were thinking, okay, अब तो petrol का it's going to eat up. It did not. उसकी खुद की category बन गई है, CNG. They are still petrol users, they are still diesel guys who we are obviously trying to get over with. That's an EV भी आ गया बीच में. We are a lot of us. There will be demand, but the demand should be of green side technology, green side gases, green side energy. They can coexist together. Given the advancements in the community, I would say, the adoption of each sort of technology would be amplified. So for example, if you are a community that really supports the idea of EV, your country, your community, your city, your sector, your block might have more concentration of EVs there, and subsequently it's going to amplify.
Right.
If there's a need to it. Right now also it's just not about people. It's the environment that's getting hampered, and we all are just trying to do something out of it, right?
So at Mobec, you talk owners, these are your potential clients. So all these logistics company, how do they look at EV? Why I'm asking this, because we have invested into a company which is listed Jupiter Wagon Limited.
Yeah.
In this Greater Noida Auto Expo, they have launched 1-tonner EV and a 7-tonner EV also. And the company is really a railway wagon manufacturer, and they are diversifying to EV. So how should I look at it as an investor? What you do see into this 1-ton to 5-ton kind of bracket, which is into light commercial vehicle? Is there a chance of adoption of EV into this?
Yeah, definitely. See, you have to look at it from the level of the operator and the daily challenges they are facing from various aspects. For example, you have a diesel engine, trucks. That's what they're doing, right? Probably launching their own EV trucks, right? So an operator has issues as small as theft of diesel or fuel as well.
Yeah.
And then the maintenance of the engine, that adds up to the cost. Then you also have regulatory compliances that now you have to meet for a warehouse operator or probably logistic person operator to incorporate EV ecosystem and make their company green, because their emission, their footprint is much more larger than other companies comparatively. If you talk about logistics, yeah. So the adoption is inevitable. It also gives them a flexibility in terms of managing their fleet efficiently, in terms of managing their finances as well, and probably giving out more renewable solutions that can actually run their trucks. For example, I don't know if the company you mentioned, they are into solar or not.
No.
If they do, probably, or if somebody else does it, you're just getting free energy and charging your cars. Which is obviously, there are a few companies who are working on it and successfully have implemented it in passenger cars as well. It's just a concept that can be implemented. So moving to green energy, and that's something that's also saving you money. I mean, it's a no-brainer that way. So in our case, what we are trying to help logistic companies as well. See, other pain point for them is they have to be on time. That's why they're logistics, right? They have to deliver stuff. Could be anything, commodities, could be a package, but it has to reach from point A to point B. Now, diesel or engine is not the only problem of conventional trucks. The intent of actually taking your package is always by the driver of that vehicle, whoever is carrying it. Now, if the car is, or if your vehicle is not charged, or if it stops midway, how is it gonna work out for you? So that's where, complementary companies that are trying to help out and charge them on the move as well, so that they can keep on going.
So that's a very unique solutions which you have come out with the mobile charging station. So definitely it should add the adoption rate of EV. So I see it as a complementary and catalyst to EV adoption.
Yeah, I mean,
A bit of prep understanding of battery. So battery के कितने type होते हैं and which are the prevalent ones, which are the popular ones, and if you can explain with the use case कि जो हम बैटरी देखते हैं, हमें तो लेड एसिड बैटरी पता है जो कि घर में 20 साल पहले वही था. अभी अब लिथियम आयन क्या बैटरी क्या होती है, उनके डिफरेंट टाइप्स क्या होते हैं और उनके यूज केसेस कहाँ पे?
Batteries have different forms, different compositions. Like you have LCO batteries, so they have a higher composition of cobalt and lithium in it, and various other smaller compositions for sure. That creates a battery. LCOs are in your phones as well. They are in your laptops, which are really mobile. They give you good power backup as well to operate a smaller device or something. Can be implemented for bigger applications as well. You have your NMC batteries that have a different composition which has higher nickel content in it. So different compositions for different integrations and different uses. But these days, as we are talking about adoption of BESS and mobility solutions, everything needs a battery.
Right.
So batteries are all around us, and India has not been able to until now, because we started a couple of years back. Battery technology is being developed on daily basis. We see news as well. There are sodium batteries coming in. There are other tech as well, different compositions. But as of now, the kind of batteries we try to accommodate are all the solid batteries that you see.
Okay. So if I have to choose between NMC and LCO, so which one I should choose if I have to choose for my car?
You would have an NMC and LCO both. So there are a couple of manufacturers that are utilizing NMC composition. There are a couple of manufacturers utilizing LCO. They have their own pros and cons in terms of longevity, in terms of how many cycles it can actually work till. So durability of the composition. So that really depends on the product that is being built around it.
Okay.
So both are useful that way, and both can be utilized. But as a recycler, it really comes down to a play of obviously what is available to recycle and what is the demand.
I think the nickel cobalt would be costlier.
It is. So it really depends on the global rates that changes frequently. And it's on a higher side, because nickel being a rare earth material itself, and cobalt too, we would want to put back all that mining stuff back to the economy by recycling, but it's still an expensive commodity.
So let's talk about recycling. So when we try to understand this ecosystem of recycling, then we come across a term called extended producers responsibility, EPR. So उसमें क्या legislation है और what is the addressable market what kind of green shoots you are seeing in this sector, and which made you invest into this sector?
Primarily EPR, or this body, we as a responsible recycler producer and a recycler, we obviously have to abide with the regulations. And this actually is one of the approvals that you have to get as a recycler. This actually enables you being a responsible part of the recycler community. So again, that's very important, and that enables and gives us the acknowledgement of that you are a responsible recycler as well. Collaboratively, it creates a discipline, a guideline for all the recyclers from various categories, for them to be guided well enough to manage their responsibilities as a recycler.
Harry, one last question we would like to ask you about a new thing which you already mentioned, passing reference आपने बताया कि BESS is an opportunity for you. What is this energy storage system? Why it is now a thing? So कहाँ से push आ रहा है and who are the players who are active into it?
Easy words में it's just like an inverter. जैसे पहले घर पे इन्वर्टर होता था लेड एसिड वाला, फिर वो लिथियम बैटरीज में कन्वर्ट हुआ. इट्स सेम कॉन्सेप्चुअली. आइडिया वहीं से डिराइव हुआ है. अब उसी इन्वर्टर को हम अलग अलग जगह पे प्लेस करके जनरेटर्स, छोटे बड़े जनरेटर्स वगैरह से रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं. सो दैट्स वन ऑफ द इम्प्लीमेंटेशंस. सो ऑन BESS, logically and implementation wise, it was always there. But since now we are all going green now, we all want to push it somehow.
Okay.
We want to replace the generators because of the regulatory guidelines. Generator नहीं चलने चाहिए तो solution क्या है? Batteries. Batteries क्या होती है? BESS.
Okay.
So it's an energy storage system, right? If you talk to me about it, किसी intelligent बंदे ने ये निकाला है BESS marketing फंडा. बैटरी तो शुरू से BESS था. अब उसके साथ आपने इन्वर्टर लगा दिया उसको डिस्पेंस करने के लिए पावर को, या अपने आप को चार्ज करने के लिए. साथ में आपने BESS में और इनोवेशन कर ली, उसके साथ आपने सोलर पैनल लगा दिया ताकि वो खुद को भी चार्ज कर ले और आपकी खर्चा कम आए. सो BESS, irrespective if the idea was old or new, the integration and the push that it's getting, it's commendable that way. We as a company or other companies, they are into various BESS solutions. In easy words, battery solutions जो आपके server rooms को हमेशा powered up रखेंगी, आपके societies को powered up रखेंगी, आपकी small time office buildings को या big office buildings को, construction sites को powered up रखेंगी. We just created a separate, a side value addition to it. हमने उसे मूवेबल सोल्यूशन बना दिया है.
Okay.
You don't have to get a crane, या आपको 10 बंदे नहीं चाहिए उसे उठाने के लिए, या उसे उठाना ही नहीं है. It's not that delicate of a system कि आप उसको move करें तो कुछ हो जाएगा. So we have created a solution which is mobile and we can move it wherever you want to take it. Could be small and big depending on your usage. So coming back to BESS is one of a good element in growing EV sector and technology sector that is adding a lot of fuel in the growth.
On recycling, practically 1 लाख की बैटरी आपके पास है, maybe 4 units मिलकर के 1 लाख होंगे या 5 units जो भी है. तो उसमें कितना आपको monetary terms में as a recycler you can get it back. Let's say it is almost dead, मतलब उसको आप गाड़ी में नहीं लगा सकते. It is like ओला जो है खराब हो गई, उसकी बैटरी आपको मिल गई. So suppose 1 लाख की बैटरी थी वो एक जमाने में, अभी कितने की आप उसको रिकूप कर पाओगे इसमें से?
So almost that battery comes to a market rate and a scrap rate.
Yeah.
So we are, in easy words, modern day kabadis. But I'm happy to be that. That comes down to be at least 1/4 cost.
Okay.
So 1/4 cost then gets recycled, and we extract all the essential minerals out of it, rare earth metals and minerals. Then they go to various categories. So if you're talking about recycling a 1 lakh rupee ka battery, realistically, a mid-sized recycler can do at least 15 to 40% ROI on whatever they are recycling, whatever batteries they have invested in to recycle. So a mid-sized recycler should be able to
20%.
That really depends on the kind of technology they have. The purified black mass that's coming out of the batteries, because it's all shredded and all black mass comes out of it, for example. So how advanced or how efficient your machinery is, that could give you a proper value and proper shredding. So there are a lot of elements connected to it, but keeping all of that aside, if you talk about just the ROI part, it can go up to 40%.
Okay, up to 40% if somebody is doing at a large scale.
So somebody is doing a large scale, that is multi-folds then. The reason being because a lot of large scale recyclers, they are not just doing mechanical shredding. So there are a lot of other ways to extract minerals from. So it's hydrometallurgy, it's pyrometallurgy as well. A couple of them are using that to extract a certain mineral. So it just makes the whole process more efficient, and they take it to the next level of extraction. So if you extract from level 1 to level 2, your cost just jumps. Because it's much more cleaner product, right? So you can just take out a cobalt out of it and just sell that, not a mixture of 10 other components. So that's how bigger recyclers, or I would say manufacturers, are expanding their operations and increasing their capacity, not just in mechanical, but other extraction processes too.
अगर लैपटॉप को रिसाइकिल करना हो, जैसे लैपटॉप बंद है, उसको आपको रिसाइकिल करना है, and that certain element like gold, platinum are used into that.
Yes.
So वो तो stage 2, stage 3 extraction I think would be required to recover that. But battery के लिए you are sorted, you know what else goes and what comes out.
Yes. Our facility does stage 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So we do all stages. We can take out the exact singular mineral out of a battery. It's not going to be a mixture of multiple things.
Battery, there are 3 components of it, and like cathode, anode, and electrolytes, which is the most important part for you and the other recycling.
I'll give you an example, like what comes out of a battery. Layman terms. If we are talking, जैसे अभी बात करी थी हमने LCO battery होती है. So LCO has lithium and cobalt composition the highest. बाकी सारे compositions हैं उसमें. There could be manganese as well, and other smaller components which are hard to recover properly, or maybe not worth recovering as well, because they are so less in volume. But specifically talking about हमने cobalt and lithium निकाला उसमें से. Now as a recycler, the challenge is you cannot be just selling 1 kg of cobalt. No one's going to buy it from you.
Right.
You have to have like in tons for somebody to order it. So that's one of the challenges. But irrespective, these are the 2 main components that probably we take out. And we sell the components to the relevant industries. So we also have aluminium and copper coming in. So for example, aluminium goes to a window manufacturer that uses aluminium, or door manufacturer, or other components manufacturer, whoever uses aluminium. Similarly, as I mentioned, these rare earth materials like cobalt and lithium, like lithium is used in various fuel sector, grease and other categories as well, engine oils. So they do have a mixture, obviously. So there are various industries that can use these output minerals. In fact, pharma also has use of the products that we produce.
But do you produce pharma grade metal?
Not. I wouldn't really know because I'm not dealt with them now. I am yet to find out what are their grades.
Yeah. When you say stage 1, 2, 3, what does this mean for an outsider, somebody who want to visit your plant?
Like mechanical processes, we know how to shred a battery and make powder out of that.
That is stage 1.
Stage 1, we know how to do hydrometallurgy, so it's chemical separation.
Okay, that is stage 2.
Yeah, we also know how to do heating mechanism, pyrometallurgy. Few components that need to be. So all of these stages are available in our facility, and we try to have almost zero wastage.
All the players are totally integrated, generally speaking, stage 1, 2, 3, or you get somebody who has processed stage 1 and you buy it for stage 2 processing.
We are self-sufficient that way.
Yeah, you are self-sufficient, but you take in lateral inputs into stage 2 processing or stage 3.
Sure, whenever there is a need, whenever there is a requirement, or as a business, practically, it's not always possible for you to have everything that you needed, right? As a stock, probably, or as a demand. So we do have lateral integrations as well in various stages wherever needed. But as of now, since we have a continuous stage process 1, 2, 3, we can feed ourselves in terms of stock.
If somebody has to measure a capacity of a recycling plant, how one can go?
Well, we have a capacity of processing around 7,000 metric tons per annum.
Oh, so that's a good size.
I believe so. Obviously, there are bigger companies who do bigger capacities, but it's good enough. On a daily basis, we can do at least 20-25 metric tons.
Generally, what is the utilization level?
It really depends again stage-wise. As a recycler, see, stage 1 is always faster in any factory. Then it goes to a further refining process.
Yeah.
That's a longer process. Obviously, the capacity would not really matter, even if we have multi-ton capacity, but the process itself will take weeks.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we count primarily by stage 1. We are running at almost full capacity. We want to keep it, but there are economical and geographical, trade updates because of which at times the markets shift, and during that time, demand for example, a nickel is not that much, whereas a demand for a cobalt is higher. Then we as recyclers have to really focus on producing that too. So that creates a whole lot of friction in terms of manufacturing and against demand. And when there is a change in demand, the manufacturer has to change his strategy on daily basis as well.
Okay. So it's a kind of a forging business. I mean, it's slightly metal-related business. That you have to understand the economy.
Yes.
What to process.
Yes.
So don't you hedge your positions like in commodities market?
So hedging position in terms of a recycler or a manufacturer would be taking care of the stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do that basis on obviously the predicted market that there is, and basis on the availability of stock too. So that is a general business practice that we follow. But the hedging of position cannot be longer than 6 months.
Yeah.
Things change in 3 months as well, in commodities specifically.
Lithium prices are going down since last 1 year, I think.
So imagine who had a stock.
Yeah, it was so at least the prices would have at least as a businessman, as a person who deals with lithium, how does it impact your return on your life if lithium prices are going down as a recycler?
If you talk about me specifically, if there is a drop in a specific mineral or a commodity, we would just move to a commodity that makes it logical for us to operate. So it could be lithium, it could be cobalt, it could be some other mineral as well. Till the time we are justifying our books and our efforts, we would keep on optimizing.
Yeah.
It is not advisable to stick to one thing in any category of business.
Yeah,
I mean, you stay in that business, but you need to optimize all the time. So,
yeah, that's true.
I have a question. Like you just mentioned yourself to be kabaddi wala, right?
Yeah,
So
I love that.
okay. In terms of e-waste, do we have do our economy have sufficient e-waste so that you guys can operate, or do we have to export that e-waste from foreign market, and how government is helping you with that?
So local markets at times do have shortage if you talk about e-waste, and then there is battery waste. So there are two wastes there. Depending on the demand, locally, domestically and international demands, there are seasons when it's really difficult to find scrap as well, or the amount of quantity that you're looking at. The government does support importing of scrap or importing of scrap batteries, but there is an eligibility criteria that needs to be met by a recycler following the EPR body, and they do have a cooling period there too. So that's part of the checklist. Whoever wants to check it, and it's visible on the website as well of the government. So once you have that in place, then you as a recycler can import scrap into your economy and recycle it and probably resell it. So both of the things happen. It's obviously, it would also really depend where you're getting it from. That's another business call, but it's allowed to do as far as I know. But with a lot of regulatory compliances. I personally believe that needs to be streamlined a bit faster, because always, as you were right, the raw material, the scrap is not always available. And another viable solution is importing. But I believe it's still in process of being streamlined. It's not fully streamlined. Yeah.
How much margin your company is making?
If you are just stage 1 recycler, you are doing up to 40% of your investment.
Okay, 40% return, not ROI.
Gross.
But ROI in the sense, when you say ROI is a capital adjusted, कितना capital लगाया उसके ऊपर?
हाँ उसी पे, मतलब easy words में scrap कुछ ले रहे हैं, तो उसका आपने 100 रुपए का लिया, तो up to 40 रुपए आप उसपे कमा सकते हैं.
Okay, so gross margin.
हाँ. Now, if you have stage 2, stage 3, and the volume that is desired, again, it's a volume game, otherwise, you will not make money there. So, it can go up to 200% or 300%.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Can any plans for expansion?
of course.
Since you have mentioned you are on utilizing full capacity,
Yeah,
so do we have any
of course.
future plans?
I always have plans to expand all my ideas, specifically this too. I don't know when, probably
Okay.
soon. Yeah, for sure. We are expanding next year, but it's not. I was not saying that I'm going to do it after a couple of years.
Okay.
मेरे लिए लंबा time 1 साल होता है
Okay.
और छोटा time 3 महीना होता है.
Okay.
So it's going to be under a year.
People will definitely thank you from their bottom of heart because you spoke about certain intricacies of doing this business and the kind of complexity you go through to set out any business, not just recycling. You have been an innovator and you kind of inspire others to really do good and you make best use of time. And that's the learning, that's the personal learning which I get from you. And I'm sure many people would have learned a lot, many things from Mr. Harry Bajaj. And thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks for getting me.
We will continue doing this kind of knowledge session with you guys so that you can appreciate good businesses because India is a land of opportunity. यहाँ पे हर type की हर different flavors के businesses available हैं. So why we restrict ourselves to certain pockets of sectors? So this is a new sector and जरूर comment में बताएं कि आपको ये हमारा ये initiative कैसा लगा. Let me know in the comment if you like this kind of content. If you want to grow in investing, then do follow our work. We have done extensive work on many sectors like data center, transformer, water, green hydrogen. Many new things are coming up. तब तक के लिए मैं आपसे विदा लेता हूँ. So keep liking our work, keep sharing our work, and do spend some time on Sadhan for understanding this market to a better extent. Thanks for watching.